Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has confirmed that more than 8,000 Ghanaians who fled the Gbenyiri conflict in the Savannah region have returned to their homes. Mr. Ablakwa revealed the figures during a visit to Vonkoro, a border community in Cote d'Ivoire, where more than 13,000 Ghanaians have sought refuge. Head of Joy News Diplomatic Desk, Blessed Soga, is here with us to give us update. Yesterday, Blessed, it's good to have you. Yesterday, I saw videos of you giving us, taking through the camp and telling us
what exactly the situation was.
Well, basically, what time did you touch grounds? And also, when you got there, what was the first reaction you
Okay, so the initial plan was, this was supposed to be a 2-day activity, a state visit, first of all, with the minister interacting with his counterparts in Ivory Coast, and then we move right straight into this camp because Vonkoro actually is just about a 2-hour drive from the Bole community. So it's a border community that ordinarily, if you have people suffering from conflict or whatever it is, and they'll just cross the white water and move into Ivory Coast. But that wasn't our case. The initial plan to go from Abidjan into the territory at once did not work as planned. So what ended up being, what was supposed to be a 2-day event, ended up being more than double of that. So we spent almost 4 days. In fact, we're just literally touching down because the Foreign Affairs Minister would have to address the press in a few moments from now. So here's the big story, that for now, when we got to the camp, we know that over 8,000 people have moved out of the area, out of the 13,000. So there are about 5,309, if I recall the figures right, from the Foreign Affairs Minister, who are now expected to return. Now, until that time, because mind you, you can't do forced evictions, you can force people to come back into the country. So you can only urge them to come back. And according to the minister, the president has initiated a number of activities. That means there's calm, being restored to the area. The mediation committee is also working with all of the tribes across the border and in Ghana as well, so that, of course, the residents will be assured that when they return, they can, of course, settle peacefully with the others in the community. So yes, that's the broad plan. That in the initial plan of, just going straight forward to the place wasn't as smooth as it was. We had to come back into Ghana. So we've been to Ivory Coast twice in just a space of 48 hours. That's how crucial this task was for the foreign minister, who then further presented a cash prize, actually, of 6 million CFA francs to the residents, asking them, of course, to return because the president strongly believes that.
When you got there, what was the humanitarian condition for
I must say that
there?
I think the Ivorian authorities were taken by surprise because obviously this was a conflict. In fact, one of the individuals I had spoken to told me clearly that they didn't even expect that this was going to happen. So some people just, sprang that surprise on them, came into the community, started firing, so they had to take shelter along one of the forest belts in the area and then moved across the white water into the area. So that is, in fact, one of the reasons why some of the residents there, or if I may call them now refugees, are not necessarily interested in just getting back into the community where they used to be in Gbenyiri, because you were just hearing the accounts from Sola, Tuna, Kalba. In fact, we had all the MC, the regional minister, and all of these government officials join us yesterday, and you can tell that even at night, traveling with a military escort, there was still some sense of insecurity because you then know that the area is under curfew, because there's just any surprise element.
Interesting.
That could come up,
we'll come back to you, Blazed. And now let's take a listen to the Foreign Affairs Minister on the Gbenyiri conflict.
Vonkoro, and now the latest census that has been conducted indicates that you have reduced to about 5,309, and so that means that more than half have returned. We want to encourage all of you to return. President Mahama, as Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, has put in place a number of measures. There's been massive security deployment. Camps have been established. A committee has been set up to mediate between the traditional leaders on all sides, and calm has been restored. So I'm here to deliver a message to you from the President that it is time to go back. Don't be scared. You will meet adequate security. You will be safe. So we encourage you to go back. You will observe that your colleagues who returned home are okay, they are safe. They have not had to rush back here. So that should give you confirmation if you had any doubt that the situation has been resolved. that should give you confirmation. The almost 8,000 people who have left have not come back in a couple of days now. They are doing very well. They are okay. They are being fully protected. So we want you to go back. The 5,309 here, we think that the time has come for all of you to go back, and we are willing to help you, to assist you, to offer the needed logistical support for you to go back to your homes, because everything has been resolved and it is safe for you now to return. President Mahama wants me to convey that message very clearly to you.
President Mahama,
Still staying on this development, now we are being joined by security analyst Richard Kumado, who is going to touch base with us here on the news desk. Richard, it's good to have you here on the news desk. Now, I want to understand from you, from your security perspective, what do you make of the minister's approach and how he's dealing with this whole conflict situation from possibly a diplomatic and a security perspective?
I think all the frontline actors have done well. So far, as a nation, we've done well. We have handled it appropriately. The foreign minister's visit was timely, and it's also part of the reassuring mode the president has put in place to ensure that our people come back home. These are internally displaced people, and to the extent that the president has set up a mediation team, having a foreign minister there with a convoy and with the interact is sent there, is also to reassure the people that we are on your side and you can come back home. What we need to do as quickly as possible is to ensure that communication is upfront and is appropriately being communicated to the people, so that issues like miscommunication and disinformation will not create further scare that people will be afraid to come home. Then number two, the law enforcement officers are also aware of the danger of reoccurrence of what led to the displacement in the first place. And they are well prepared, they are well on the ground to ensure that that will not happen. Then you also want to bring in the issue of our grandfather, the Yagora, that Damba has just been launched. This is a time of unity. This is a time of solidarity. And this is a time of love, that if he put his feet on the ground and speak to all his children along the line, that everybody is going to conform. And that is the way we need to go. And I think so far, so good. We only appeal and persuade our people to come back home.
All right, Richard, I want to get from you, what do you make of the closure of the camp, the approach with which it has been handled, and basically measures that can at least stop the issue from really getting out of hand subsequently?
I don't think any of the camps have been closed permanently. You are persuading people to go back home where they will have their basic comfort. And so it's going to be a gradual thing. You can't force people, you can only persuade them. In doing so, you still have to be mindful that people can return back to the camp. But you also manage it in such a way that the camp doesn't become a permanent place for them, where displacement will continuously become a normal thing within the area. So you are looking at it from two sides. Law enforcement agencies will have to provide the necessary security assurances and create a safer environment for people who have returned. That will only grant safety. And once that safety is granted, then it both have the reassurances or the assurance that people can come back and nothing will happen to them. For the camp, it has been a temporary measure. It's just like the curfew that has been reviewed by the Interior Minister. And so that is what has happened. But I think that we need to keep our eyes on the ball, that all the warriors will have to lay down their arms, and everybody who has been displaced will need to be encouraged to come back home. And once they are at home, then it becomes a law enforcement officer's responsibility to ensure that the security breach that occurred in the first place do not occur again.
Right here on the news desk, Isaac Commodore is a security analyst speaking to us on development from Gbenyiri, especially where the minister has been there over the weekend, bringing updates with regards to donations and the new approach government is taking to intervene, especially concerning the conflict there. Now moving on.